Why hello there, welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to be talking about the new SSR Select Recruit as well as the Ushijima Rebanner. And like always, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for some more Haikyu Fly High videos. We just reached 700 subscribers and we're going for the 1000 subscriber goal by the end of this year. So if you've watched some of my videos by now and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe because it would be amazing to hit that goal by the end of this year. So getting into the new stuff for Haikyu Fly High. So there is a new chain pack that has been released. So before it was Kita and now it's going to be for Aran. And so if you have star gems and you want to get him that way, that is a possibility. Now when it comes to the other time limited events, we still are in the Korai time limit event period. So nothing has changed in that regard. But now we have the new recruits. So first up we have Aran. Now Aran is a fan favorite for a lot of people, myself included. I actually think he's a fantastic character in the manga and the anime. However, when it comes to his character in game, they really did him dirty. Because he's supposed to be regarded as a potential top 5, top 3 aces in the universe, and the fact that he's an SSR character is kinda disrespectful. Because you're essentially saying that he's on the same level as Tanaka, Azumane, Hiroshima, like it just makes absolutely no sense. But I do understand that they didn't want to give Inarizaki 3 UR players, so I get it from that perspective. However, not only did they make him the wrong rarity in my opinion, his skills are kind of whack. Now don't get me wrong, in the right situations, in the right scenarios, he's going to be a beast, but if we take a look at his skills, he is going to be consuming a lot of stamina. So taking a look at rhythm control, for every 10 stamina consumed, Aran gains 1 stack of second wind, and what it does is it increases his attack technique by 3%, and at the end of each turn, consume all of your stacks, and for every stack consumed, you restore 4 stamina. So you do get some back, but at the end of the day, you're still consuming a lot of stamina, as we will see in his next couple skills. His next ability is a serve ability, and he performs a jump serve with 110% of his serve stat, and it reduces the receive stat of opponent receiving players by 10%, lasting for 6 net crossings. So that is a very good jump serve ability, because usually jump serves, what they do is they boost the player serving, but there's some people, Aran included, that actually puts a debuff on the opponent, or at least reduces their receive stat, which is very nice. His ultimate is Thunder Spike, so he performs a power spike with 240% of his power attack stat. Pretty standard stuff there, but it is his training ability that will turn people away from him, I'm sure. And that is Offensive Surge. Increases Aran's power attack by 6% and serve by 6%, so there's no backdraw there. But when performing a power spike, consumes 60% stamina to increase spike power by 30% of his power attack stat. So if you start the game and he's your number 1 wing spiker, he's gonna attack first, and he's at 100 stamina, 60%, he's gonna drop all the way down to 40. So again, if you tie that in with rhythm control, for every 10 stamina consumed, so in this scenario it is 60, he gains 1 stack, so he'll have 6 stacks, and then for every stack consumed he restores 4 stamina, so 6 times 4, you're then going to get 24 stamina back, and then you're going to be at 64 stamina, so it's kind of give or take, but at the same time, for 1 power attack to go again from 100 to 64 is still not ideal. So for his skill res 2, at the start of each turn, he gains 3 stacks of second wind, and each stack increases his attack technique. So again, that's another 3 that will restore his stamina. So again, there is a little bit more of stamina replenishment there, but still, to get 3 copies of him for, again, a lot of stamina usage for being your potential number 1 person. If he's your number 2 wing spiker or number 2 attacker, including the opposite hitter, I can understand it a little bit, but again, there's a lot of better options out there in my opinion. And then his skill res 4, up to 2 times per turn when a player on your side recovers stamina while Aran is on the court, Aran recovers 8 stamina. So again, if you can get other players who restore stamina, this could be a very good thing. But again, it's very specific, it's very niche. I don't think a lot of people have this. So it's a very unique scenario with Aran. If you have the right players, he can be a very effective player, but that's only if you have those players. So next up we have Ginjima. Now Ginjima, as you can see, his top 2 stats are power attack and receive. I believe he is a receive type wing spiker like Kita or like Daichi, where they are not power or quick attack. He might just be a receive based wing spiker, which is very interesting to me because you have Kita who's a receive based, you have now Ginjima who's receive based, And then Aaron, who I'm assuming is a power and serve. So there's a little bit of weird stuff going on with Inarizaki and their wing spikers. But anyways, it seems like he is a receive specialist. So his first ability is Balanced Force, and it increases his power attack and receive by 6%. And when receiving a power spike, this receive gains an additional 15% of his receive stats. So again, showing why he is more of a receive specialist than a power-based wing spiker. He has a passive ability called Hardline Pick, and he performs a receive with 120% of his receive stat. His ultimate is a power attack, so he performs a power spike with 225% of his power attack. If he's in the back row, this spike gains an additional 30% based on his power attack stats. So kind of the opposite with Kurai, where if Kurai's in the front row, he gains a boost. With Ginjima, if he's in the back row, he gains a boost. So his training ability is Team Linked Impulse, and for each receive tagged player on your side, so again, the receive kind of specialist that you can see under each player, if they have receive, power attack, serve, that whole thing. Genjima's attack technique increases by 2%. When a teammate's receive result is not bad, his power attack increases by 15%, lasting for 4 net crossing. So if you have Yaku with his training ability, his receives can never be bad. So you tie that in with Genjima's Team Linked Impulse, he will always get an increase to his power attack so long as Yaku is the one receiving. Which further proves if you have a team based around the Mia twins and quick attack players, it really makes sense for you to have Yaku with Genjima. Now I know with Genjima it is power attack here, but with Yaku he does help quick attack players generally more, so you can get the best of both worlds in that regard. So his skill res 2 is that his receive stat increases by 15%, and once per match, his first receive will not result in a point loss. So for those of you who might be like a little bit on the edge in terms of the first point of a game, because I know it kind of feels scripted, this might prevent a lot of the times where you lose that first point, at least if the ball goes to Genjima. And then for his skill res 4, while he is on the court, when your side performs a receive that is not bad, again, Yaku, his awareness increases by 12% for 1 turn. So again, you can just keep doing this. So again, if you do have Yaku, his receives will never be bad, and so your awareness will be increasing by a lot for a very long time. And then last up for the select recruit, we have Akagi, who is the libero for Inarizaki. So again, if you want to go for the team bond and you want a better libero, say for example you have an SR libero, this is an option as well. So for his first ability, it increases his receive and save stats by 8%, and each time he performs a receive or save, your team morale gains 10. So again, maybe if you didn't pick up Haruki, I believe is his name, for Fukuradani for Bokuto's team morale stuff, this is also another option. He has a passive ability called Reliable Libero, and he performs a save with 120% of his save stat. Your side's defense technique increases by 4%, lasting for 6 net crossing. So again, with Inarizaki, defense technique, attack technique is kind of the main stats that they want to increase, whereas a lot of the other teams are going awareness and strength. So there is give or take there, so this may not benefit you depending on what team you do have. But if you do have an Inarizaki team, especially with the Mia twins, with Kita, etc., this will help a lot. His ultimate is Gritty Receive, and he performs a receive with 240% of his receive stat. Pretty standard stuff. And when it comes to his training ability, it's called Full Court Commitment. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. So first, it increases his receive stat by 10%, which is always good. And while he is on the court, each time an opponent performs a power spike, they gain 1 stack of the pressure debuff, and each stack reduces their power attack by 8%, lasting for 3 net crossings. If the opponent spiker has the pressure debuff already, your side gains 4% defense technique for 3 net crossings. So again, for the same amount of net crossings, the opponent will lose power attack and you'll gain defense technique. His skill resonance 2, his receive increases by 14%. And while he is on the court, when a back row player fails to achieve a critical result when touching the ball, reduce that player's receive skill cooldown by 1 net crossing. So again, no critical plays means that you get your receive skill up backed by another net crossing, so you can use it again sooner. His skill resonance 4, it increases the defense technique of Akagi by 15%, and when his receive or save result is not bad, your next spiker gains 15% attack technique for 2 net crossings. So again, attack technique, defense technique, that's kind of the name of the game here for Inarizaki. So again, with the select recruit in totality, I would say for the most part, a lot of people should be skipping this unless you have an Inarizaki team specifically. I mean, Aaron just consumes too much stamina. Ginjima is just kind of a lesser version of Kita in my opinion, and then Akagi is like a decent libero, but you should probably have Yaku instead for an Inarizaki team. So for the most part, I would say skip, but if you need to complete the team bond, for example, I would go with either Ginjima or Akagi. So when it comes to their memories, we're going to look at Genjima's first. So his top two stats are power / quick and receive. And for the exclusive effects, it increases the equipper's receive stat by 10%. When the equipper performs a receive, their power attack increases by 8%, lasting for 6 net crossings. So even though for the most part you're increasing your receive, you actually get a power boost for a little bit, so that's pretty good. Now, if you have a wing spiker who is power based and you want them to improve their awareness and strength, obviously you won't be getting that here. However, this is still a viable option. Next up, we have Aran. So again, this one's going to be power, attack, and serve as the top two stats. And what this does is it increases the equipper's power attack by 10%. And whenever the equipper recovers 6 stamina, increase power attack by 3.2%, lasting for 5 net crossings. So I believe that might be stacking. So that could be pretty nice if you can stack the skill that Aran uses to recover stamina, and then you could get more than 3.2%. I'm not quite sure though, because it doesn't say stack, but at the very least, you'll still get something back when you get stamina. And there's actually more to this. If a single recovery exceeds 10 stamina, increase the equipper's attack technique by 3.2%. So you essentially get 6.4%, lasting for, I guess, 10 net crossings, because these are two separate conditions. So there is a decent amount of stuff that you can get if you use this memory specifically on Aran. But again, this doesn't really apply to every wing spiker. And then last up for Akagi, his is receive and save. And what it does is it increases the equipper's receive stat by 10%. When the equipper performs a receive or save that is not bad, allied players gain 8% defense technique, stacking up to 3 times, lasting for only 1 turn. So that's not ideal, but again, when it's not bad, it's not always going to be bad. And if you want to put this on Yaku, for example, this could be pretty nice. Because again, if you have the training ability applied to Yaku, his receive is never going to be bad. So at the very least, you're going to be gaining defense technique all the time. So now it is time for us to talk about Ushijima's re-banner. So as you can see, Ushijima is back in the store. So if you missed out on him originally, you now have the opportunity to pick him up. And the thing is that I found very interesting is that, as you can see, my pity is at 64. So my Kurai pity was at 65. But what I noticed is that my undisputed ace Ushijima pity was also at 65. So as you can see down here, I did do 1 out of 200 summons and it dropped to 64. And if I went back to Kurai's, it also dropped to 64. So there is a shared pity amongst the UR banners. So this makes it very nice for those of you who, for example, if you pulled Kurai, let's say past the 50 mark where you get UR tickets back, let's say you're at 80 or 120, instead of going all the way to 210 or to 250 to get tickets back, you can just go to the Ushijima one and do a 10 pull and get your 2 back. You can do a 50 and get 5 back, etc. Now again, if your purpose is to reduce the pity for Hirugami or a future UR banner, you are running the risk of pulling Ushijima or Kurai, so you have to take that into consideration as well. And likewise for the memories, they also share the same pity. So as you can see with Kurai and Ushijima's memories, they both say 54 pulls. So if I were to do one on Ushijima, it would drop both of the pities to 53. Now I don't think we need to do a full-on player review for Ushijima, but I will talk about his skill resonance because a lot of people who picked up Ushijima originally might want to pick up more copies of him to get his skill res 2 or 4. So let's talk about those. So his skill res 2 says he reduces his undisputed ace cooldown to 4 net crossings, and when a player on your side performs a critical play, so again that's going to be awareness, reduces undisputed ace cooldown by another net crossing. So as you can see, the undisputed ace ability is his ultimate, and right now I believe the cooldown is, I had to go back to the player menu, so I actually have Ushijima so I can show you. The cooldown is currently at 8 net crossings, so if you get his skill res 2, it drops it all the way down to 4, so that is very, very nice. And then on top of that, again, when a player on your side performs a critical play, so if you have a lot of players with awareness, you can reduce his cooldown by further net crossing, so you could literally just spam his ultimate. And then his skill res 4, it doubles Ushijima's awareness stat, so if you have something like 25%, it'll shoot up all the way to 50%, And when Ushijima performs a critical play, so again, awareness is what triggers critical plays, he recovers 2 stamina. So that is very, very good, and it is definitely worth picking up. However, again, if you want to still build a team, it makes sense to pick up UR players first before you go for their dupes. So should you pick up Ushijima? I mean, based off all those things, I mean, definitely get 1 copy of him at the very least is what I should say, because he is going to be the best opposite hitter in the game, at least for power attacks. I know some people have Osamu, he's very good for quick attacks, but for a power attack based team with awareness and strength, he is the best power attack opposite hitter, and he will be for a very long time, because you essentially have to wait for the SP Kunimi to come out, and then the SP Ushijima himself will come out eventually, and you have to wait for both of those before you get an opposite hitter who is anywhere near close to his caliber. So that is going to be it for today's video. Let me know down below in the comments, are you guys going to be picking up Ushijima or any of the new select recruit players? And like always, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Peace.